agus fáilte roimh chuig Greyhound View chlár na seachtaina seo déanaimid afreithnú craobh íontach an Laurels ó Curraheen Park. Tá spáinimid an scéim tastála drogaí atá ag bord na gun. Féchan tróir de hos na hóirí na seachtaina seo an ggóras atá ag geal glacadóirí chun cúntas a chuineáil na geal a dhéantar lo. Ach ar dús tá nuacht currathach agan de dhaoine gur wathló geal a dhéanamh, dóibh siúd tá lánsáil figiúil de Euro off-track agan.
The official launch of Euro Off-Track took place in the Isle of Man on the 11th of October. The Isle of Man was chosen as the offshore location for an internet hub, which passes on bets received worldwide on Irish Greyhound racing via the internet. The bets are incorporated into the tote betting pools at the Dublin tracks.
Euro Off-Track is a pari-mutuel wagering hub based here in the Isle of Man, which allows us to take bets from all over the world and pass them back to the tracks from where the racing came from. It's the first time it's ever been done in Europe and replicates models in the USA. This is a completely new operation. It allows people to bet on Irish Greyhounds back at the tote of the track where the racing is coming from. So if I'm sitting in Tampa and I want to watch a race in Shelburne Park, I can go into the local off to OTB, place my wager, and that wager finds its way back through the hub in the Isle of Man to Shelburne Park. That obviously has a big benefit for Shelburne Park and Irish Greyhound racing in general, in that we will grow the size of the pools. The pools will become much bigger than they are now, and therefore Bord na Gun will also take a percentage of that pool, which will obviously help the further development of Irish Greyhound racing.
Euro Off-Track channels bets into the Dublin Greyhound tracks to swell the existing pool. The tote or pari-mutuel system doesn't have fixed odds like the bookmakers. The amount to be paid out to winning punters is calculated at the end of each race.
The clear distinction between traditional forms of betting in and around Europe, so-called fixed odds, and pari-mutuel, is that in the pari-mutuel model, the winner is paid from the losing bets that other wagerers make. They're not paid by the operator, so there's no betting risk to the operator as there is with a bookmaker.
Posters drawing attention to the existence of Euro Off-Track have been strategically placed around racecourses, but what stage of development has it reached?
At the moment we're up and running. The hub went live about 7 days ago, and anybody anywhere in the world can come onto the Euro Off-Track website and place a bet, and the bet will come back to Ireland at the track for which the race has taken place. Initially it will be Shelburne Park and Harold's Cross, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks that will be up and running.
I think there's no doubt that pari-mutuel wagering is the future, simply because for the operator it provides a safe business model, and for the punter it gives him increased dividends and potentially huge jackpots, and that's why the Euro Off-Track system has been scaled up to a capacity where it can handle some 28 million transactions an hour.
Welcome to Curraheen Park in Cork, the big night of the year for greyhound racing in the south. They're regarded as the derby of the south. Massive crowds making their way into Curraheen Park, a great final in prospect. Let's first of all see how they got there.
Around the third corner on Larkin Low. He's still 4 lengths clear of number 6 Premier County. Back in third, Sonic Flight is flying. Around the final corner on Larkin Low is still clear. Now Premier County coming back and Sonic Flight, but up to the line, Larkin Low wins it. Into the third corner, Mixed Mystic just holds the lead from the favourite Long Valley Max, and there's been a slight collision between the two of them. And number 6 Barefoot Joe is coming around the outside. Mixed Mystic still holding the lead in the inside, coming around the final corner, and up to the line. It's going to be very close. Barefoot Joe maybe, I'm not sure. I'll leave that one to the judge.
Well, the final is rapidly approaching here in Cork. The atmosphere really building up. A lot of big personalities, and when you're down in Cork, there are not many personalities bigger than Jimmy Barry Murphy.
I've seen many big nights for Laurels finals night, but this is really extraordinary. I've never seen anything like the crowd here, and the atmosphere all week in Cork has been massive. It's just like the derby in Dublin almost.
The transformation in Cork greyhound racing has been huge since Curraheen Park came on board.
Well, in fairness, since the move from the Western Road out here, the whole place has just taken off, and the interest in the game here now is phenomenal. and as you can see tonight it's reaching new heights every week, and I think it has really reached a peak this year with the Laurels, where the entry was fantastic, and with the entry of dogs from England, Sonic Flight and Tiny's Bud and those has really brought the international dimension to it, and it's made it a huge success. You're enjoying your stint as a director of the track? Well, I am. As you know, Pascal Taggart very kindly asked me to come on the board of the Cork track, and it was a lovely honour, and I'm glad to be part of it, what is a great success story. Now with the track and the facilities here, trainers are coming and they're being well looked after, and the standard of racing here has been phenomenal, and it is certainly, without question, the best Laurels ever. Jimmy, everything going well here, but there's obviously something you would like to see happening in Cork track. What would you like to see? Well, I would like to see a bit more variety, certainly some more longer distance racing, which the public love, particularly people who are newer to the game, and also hurdle racing. I think on finals night it's essential to have a variety, and hurdle racing is of great interest to people who don't normally come to the dogs, and I'd like to see that. Well, that was Jimmy Barry Murphy, folks. A man really loves his greyhound game, but first we have to watch the Consolation Laurels.
In Trap 1, Pilot Alert. 2 is Bravo Alpha. 3, Saline Miko. Trap 4, Pause and Pray. In 5, Sandy Hill Boss. And in 6 is Malbay Blaze. The favourite Pilot Alert on the inside has the draw, but not out too well as number 4 is Fast Away, Pause and Pray. Bravo Alpha goes right and causes trouble. Into the bend, it's number 4, Pause and Pray, going on by 3-4 lengths. A little bit of a bump in behind between Pilot Alert and Sandy Hill Boss down the back, and it's number 4, Pause and Pray. 4-5 in front, Malbay Blaze fighting it now with Pilot Alert for second, but it's still Pause and Pray at the second last corner. Pause and Pray by 4 lengths through the fog around the second last bend onto the last corner, and Pause and Pray is in front. He's not going to be caught from here. Pause and Pray staying on strong with win from Pilot Alert in second, and Malbay Blaze in third. And the result of the Consolation Laurels, the winner was number 4, Pause and Pray at 8-1. Second, number 1, Pilot Alert, and third, number 6, Malbay Blaze in 28.70. A great consolation final. Anthony, you were looking after this dog.
That's right.
Did you expect him to produce a performance like this?
Not really, no. No, we entered him. We didn't realise he would come as far as he came, but he was improving it as he went along,
He's a very important asset, early pace.
He has, that's how he won it tonight, there,
Well, we weren't that hopeful really tonight, Trap wasn't necessarily the right. We'd have preferred 1 or 2, but like Dad said, he broke in front, and if he breaks in front, he's going to be very difficult to beat. And it went right for us tonight, so delighted, absolutely delighted.
If you had told me a year ago that I would be at Curraheen Park on a Laurels night in October, I simply wouldn't have believed you. And I know now that even if you've no interest in a dog like I have in Late Late Show, it's just a great night out.
We heard about the Laurels, and we heard it was a great night. So we brought the girls down and we decided to make a sort of a weekend of it.
To see in the twilight the headlights coming from miles and miles and miles around, it shows just how big the sport is in Cork, how much support it has. Really fantastic.
Final of the Co-op Superstore's Irish Laurels. In Trap 1, Long Valley Max, back down to favouritism. 2, the English Raider Sonic Flight. 3, Mix Mystic. In 4, Barefoot Joe. Trap 5, Larkill Low, the fast starter. And Trap 6, Premier County on the outside. Hare behind the box, and away they go. And it's number 5, Fast Away, that's Larkill Low. Very slowly away was Barefoot Joe, but into the corner, Larkill Low in front from number 3. Mix Mystic in second. Premier County on the outside is in third. Heading down the back straight as Sonic Flight comes through the challenge for third. But it's Larkill Low by 2 lengths from Mix Mystic in second. Sonic Flight now moving third ahead of Premier County around the final bends, and it's Larkill Low being challenged by Mix Mystic. Sonic Flight is just in behind him, coming off the last corner. Larkill Low runs very wide, and suddenly on the inside, Sonic Flight coming up to challenge, and Sonic Flight getting there from Mix Mystic in second and Larkill Low in third. And the result of the Laurels, the winner was number 2, Sonic Flight at 3-1, second, Mix Mystic, and third, Larkill Low, time 28:41. The celebrations are starting. We see Dolores Ruth walking back down the track. She's absolutely thrilled after having trained her first Laurels winner with Sonic Flight and getting a great reception from the Curraheen Park crowd. Well done. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely delighted. Great faith in the dog all along, Micheál, and I thought he was brilliant tonight. He just showed guts, determination, and it's all down to the dog. I did nothing but just bring the dog along, and we just took each week as it come, and I knew it would pay dividend on the night.
Halfway down the back straight, what way were you feeling?
I knew we were home. I cheered him from there, and I said, this is it, tonight's the night.
Your voice is still pretty strong.
I tell you, I cheered him home.
Is he going back to England now?
Yes, he is. He's flying out tonight.
Oh, so it's going to be a sad farewell, is it?
Sad farewell. A few cheers tonight, maybe.
Now the break, and number 3 was fast away Mixed Mystic, but the early pace of Larkin-Low gets him in front before the bend. On the outside you see Premier County. Now watch Sonic Flight. He's just going past Long Valley Max at this stage, a very disappointing favourite on the race, Long Valley. Now Sonic Flight going third. Halfway down the back is the front two, Larkin-Low, still setting the pace, being challenged by Mixed Mystic, holding it there at a length or 3/4 of a length. Now off the final bend, this is where it was won and lost. Larkin goes very wide, but up the inside, Sonic Flight saves that ground up the inside rail and storms through to win it by half a length for a famous victory.
Laura's congratulations. A superb race and a job well done. Well done to Laura.
Well, among the attendants here in Cork tonight, we have the man, Mr. Greyhounds himself, Minister for Greyhounds, Joe Walsh, and Micheál Martin, another Cork Minister himself. Both of you here at the Dogs. Joe, we are accustomed to seeing you here in Cork. A great night for greyhound racing.
Well, the Laurels is a traditional night in Cork. The Laurels is always associated with greyhounds in the whole Cork and southern region. But tonight was a brilliant night. First of all, there's a record crowd, and secondly, the race itself was very exciting. And I was delighted to see Dolores Root winning with Sonic Flight. It was a brilliant race.
But now tell us the real reason you were delighted Dolores Ruth won, because she has a dog in training for you.
Absolutely. His name is Zagato, and he'll be running in Harold's Cross around the middle of next month.
Now, Micheál, it's not your normal venue on a Saturday night, Cork.
No, I suppose, but I mean, we've been hearing so much about the Greyhound track here. I mean, we're particularly proud of it. It's a wonderful venue. I think it's one of the best in Europe and in the world indeed, and we're particularly proud. Anna Brodoil as Joel Walsh has often Gashgimora tá déntige son Siv Shaw. And it's a great night out for Cork people, and it's a huge social event now.
Smiles all round as Minister for Agriculture Joe Walsh presents the trophy to the connections of Sonic Flight. Well, folks, it's been a great night here in Cork. Tremendous racing with a magnificent final to the Laurels. Pascal Taggart, another great night, a great advertisement for the sport.
Michael, we've had the greatest ever Greyhound Derby in the last 25 years, and crowds, excitement. We come down here, the best ever Laurels I've ever experienced. Excitement, crowds, everything, and a great winner. So we know all we can do is look forward to the next, and the next, and the next. Hopefully you and I will be sitting upstairs watching the next one.
The unfortunate thing is, Pascal, you've plenty of money, but after the results tonight, I have nothing, only empty pockets.
Michael, I back nothing but losers.
Big year Ashton Taréis an Brisha, nuair a bheith a hille ólis agin mar gheallar an scéim tastála drogi, agus féchimid an góras atá ag na gealglacadóirí chun cúntas a chuineáil na geal. Anis an comórtas seachtanúil, an teachtain se chaite chuir mar ceistaribh don comórtas, anam nig an tréálaí sasanach atá ag Sonic Flight. Bhí an freagra ceart sé sin Nick Sava ag Anthony Lorden ó chundé Corcaigh. Mathú Anthony tá cuaighála bia do wadraí buaite agat. Tá dúis na seachtaina seo orithe ag gealglacadóirí Paddy Power, Geall gachéad funt a chaithh ar rásí na gun. Tá cú áirithe an agus tá an tanam chéine ag an gú agus iriseoir cáiliúil. Animnig an tiriseoir, cuirgléach ar a héin a 5-5 a 9-7 a 3-7 in éireann, ón bhratan agus túisceart éireann cuirgléach ar a 9 a 9 a 9 a héin, a 9 a 6 a 3 a 9 a 6 a 4 a 2, gan Irish Live.
You're 7 and 2, Bob, 7 and 2, man.
You've conquered the tote and now you want to take on the bookmakers. You know, those fellas standing on boxes and screaming their heads off. They can be particularly intimidating. Some of them you cannot even understand.
All lads, even!
Who's the little guy standing next to him, scribbling furiously? What's that all about? And most important of all, how does he remember what bet you had with him when you go back to collect your winnings? Okay, the bookie has odds displayed next to the dogs' names and you tell how much money you're having on the one you fancy. When you hand over your money, he gives you a ticket. The ticket has his name on it and a number. In this case, number 28. But you have no record of your bet, just your ticket. So how can you be confident that he will remember what bet you had when you go back to collect your winnings?
I call the bet out to the Michael, my clerk, and then I give the man a ticket. So Michael records the bet in the book with the ticket number on it. So when he comes back, the ticket and the bet should correspond with the book.
So 6-4 is offered about your dog, and you're so confident you want to place £70 on him. So you just go to the bookie, say you want a bet of £70 at 6-4, and give him the money. He'll give you a ticket and call the bet to his clerk who writes it down.
Are you also doing a tot of how the book is standing?
Not on Derby final night, I wouldn't.
On an ordinary night?
On an ordinary night, yeah.
So how basically do you do that?
I just write the bets in and add it up and tell him what he's standing them for.
As it's going?
As it's going on, yeah.
So basically you're a human computer at all?
Yeah. One of the best.
And what about himself?
He is the best. He is the best.
The middle column is your bet, £70. Next to it is your ticket number, number 28. The odds were 6-4, so this column shows the bookie has laid £105 against your £70. If you win, the total to be paid out to you would be £175. So now all you have to do is back the right dog to make sure the money ends up in your hands and not his.
The Irish Greyhound Board keenly upholds the integrity of the sport, and this is particularly evident in its drug testing programme. A laboratory funded by the board and affiliated to the Association of Official Racing Chemists polices the industry and boosts confidence in the clean image of the sport.
It's vitally important to Board Nagan that the board not alone is clean, but is seen to be clean, and to that end our whole drug testing programme has two parts to it. Firstly, there's the drug testing of all major race programmes on the calendar where there's large money involved. Secondly, there's a huge random testing programme, which means that now we have a programme in operation where at least 2 greyhounds are tested every night at every race meeting in Ireland, and that's a minimum testing level. Obviously the board, the stewards of the meetings, will take other samples if greyhounds are seen to perform above or beyond their expected capabilities, or indeed run below par on the night. The laboratory was set up roughly 10 years ago, and over the last 10 years the number of samples being tested has increased annually. We're now approaching a figure of about 4,000 samples per year. Having said that, the number of positives remain very, very small, approximately 1 or 2%, and most of the positives would be anti-inflammatory substances, painkillers.
The samples collected from various greyhound tracks throughout the country are sent anonymously to the laboratory in Limerick.
Samples arrive into us from the tracks. We don't receive any detail even of where they come from, let alone the name of the animal involved. We just simply get a code number, and as soon as they come in, then we check that everything is okay, seals intact and so on, log samples in. At that stage then we're ready to start off our work on them, and our first set of procedures are screening procedures. Now they involve taking a sample and screening it for a particular set of drugs. Having done that, we know whether or not we're looking at the possibility of a positive. The vast bulk of samples will be ruled out as negative at that stage. Probably three of the main groups that we would look for would be drivers. They're stimulants. They are substances which improve the performance of an animal, which stimulate it to a better performance. Most of them are fairly well known clinically. The second group which we would look at are what are frequently referred to as stoppers. They are something which are given to an animal, perhaps unknown to the owner or unknown to the trainer, in order to disimprove its performance. Perhaps it's a good animal and they wish to slow it down. The third group, which we would spend quite a bit of time on actually, are anti-inflammatories. These are drugs which are given to an animal to mask an injury. So for instance, a dog could be running with an injury and perhaps worsen that injury in the process. So they are banned as well. There are some other groups as well, but they would be three of the main ones. The main reason for drug testing is to ensure fair play. Because if you look at it from the point of view of the person who is not using a banned substance, the person who came second in the race, which was won by an animal which had some assistance, had been drugged, that person quite clearly is going to feel that they would like to see fair play occurring. Also, from the point of view of the industry as a whole, if an animal is running and is sold perhaps out of the country, and the sale of dogs is an important income earner for the country, it's important that when a customer buys those dogs abroad, they can feel confident that, look, it will be able to reproduce that form unaided, and where it's going to be tested in the country abroad.
It is very important from Board and Gaunt's point of view that owners, trainers, breeders, patrons of all our stadia have full confidence in our product, which is greyhound racing on a level playing field where all greyhounds compete equally, where we are known to drug test, we're known to drug test on a random basis, we're known to drug test on a relatively large scale, a scale that has increased significantly every year throughout the last 10 years, so that consumers and patrons know that there is nothing underhand possibly happening in greyhound racing.
Lorna seachtainna se thugann beidh cuana go mór sa nuacht, nó ba chórdú ina rá go méid siomra nuachta RTE sa nuacht. Beidh réibhreath nó agan strathrósaíochta Red Mills, beidh ar dróir de hosna thuirí ag féchans chomh tábhachtach is atá sé, machchan na madraí a chúis.
Agus beidh an chlásan le feiscin dimáirte chun ag le thuirta sé seachtain sa thuir TG4.